One of the biggest conclusions that you can make from this season is that the Mets pitching has been really, really bad this year. There is no denying it. In 2023, the Mets pitching staff is 26th in earned run average, 27th in fielding independent pitching. They have the second worst home runs per nine in the league, and they are 29th in wins above replacement. The Mets are also getting outscored 52-21 and playing from behind in 49 of the 71 games played this season after the first inning. We have gone on this for long enough. I understand that there's a pool of talent that is not there, that is making it look very bad. But to be honest, I think that there is some long-term things that go on with this topic. Jeremy Hefner, is he in the hot seat?
This was supposed to be the Hefner cheating lab, right? This was one of the guys that we pushed for, like, this is the guy we want to build. This guy could build our pitching, pitching lab. Him and they brought the guy from Driveline. We're thinking, okay, this is what we can build those cheating, building those guys. And what has he done? He ruined Tyler McGill, which you guys have, Metsfan has made pretty fucking clear. He's ruined Tyler McGill. Has he fixed some veterans? Has David Robertson pitched? Well, yeah, but he's 39 years old. I don't think Jeremy Hefner is telling him much. Brooks Raley, Justin Verlander, and you can make the argument, you've seen the worst version of them under Jeremy Hefner. Yes, they're, AARP membership members, but, under the Hefner pitching lab. And they're, like Frank said earlier, he really hasn't developed anyone out of nowhere. He's been put on number one. Fix Drew Smith. He's told him to throw a cutter. He's told him to throw a slider. He's told him to throw the whole damn box of pitches, and he still couldn't fix it. We can't find and develop these kind of quality arms. Jeremy Hefner, the delivery boy himself, he needs to take some flack for this pitching staff. Because it's just like kind of how Eric Chavez took the heat offensively last year at points. Hefner needs to be under some heat here. Because this is the guy that a lot of people vouch for, saying this is the guy that can fix the pitching lab and develop some guys. And he just clearly hasn't. And he's ruined Tyler McGill. David Peterson sucks. There's really not much to ruin. We all knew he sucked. But, Tyler McGill went from throwing 96 consistently, 98, 99, to, now he's throwing, 93. And he's now taking a 6'7" guy and telling him to be you know what? Just throw sinkers. It's okay. Don't try to throw hard at all. So he has to take some heat for that. But also he's not the one pitching. But he's not helping the pitchers that do suck. He's not giving those guys a chance. So I think definitely he needs to be on the hot seat as well with all the other coaches. This is not just a one thing, one side of the ball thing. There's all types of problems, but definitely Hefner, especially with this pitching staff in the bullpen, serves some heat.
Yeah, I'm of the belief that there's multiple people at fault here, but he's definitely part of it because, like we said, I really like the example Andrew used of we've seen the worst versions of pitchers, and the particular thing is Verlander and Scherzer, and just their overall inconsistencies, and again, just how many pitchers have pitched poorly. The Mets have gotten some guys who have a little bit of potential, but they never find anything in any of them. They all continue to struggle. And again, we still haven't seen anyone come through. It's Edwin Diaz, he was the best closer in baseball before the Mets got him. So you didn't do anything there. When Bryce Montes-de-Oca, if he's ever healthy and is successful, he was good in the minors before Jeremy Hefner even knew who he was. So and then Ottavino, it's he fixed Ottavino last year. Oh my gosh. And Ottavino sucks again. So was that Hefner fixing him, or is that just a veteran reliever having a fluky year that happens every year all over the sport? So I don't see anything I could give him credit for, because it's if you haven't done anything well, then you just only done bad. And I think that, again, it just comes to, as a whole organization, they don't develop people. And then I'll give you a perfect example. A guy's pitching right now as we're recording this. John Winkowski, remember him? He got traded in the Khalil Lee trade. Was a guy who was wasn't ranked highly in the Mets prospect at all. Got 2.40 ERA now. That'd be nice to have that in the bullpen right now. But I feel that with the way the Mets developed their pitchers from the minor leagues all the way up to the top, he would never be nearly as successful. I have zero faith, zero confidence in his organization because, like I said before, I see all the time where they can't develop anybody, but then they go somewhere else and they're great. So I think that, not only is it Hefner as the pitching coach, I think it's the pitching coaches in the minors, and I think it's, the people that are, whoever's up top in the front office in the pitching, department, giving instructions on how to develop guys. All of them need to go because, again, they do nothing well. I mean, this team is awful in starting pitching, relief pitching, every aspect. They have no, and like we say, maybe Vassal's on the rise. But other than that, they have no arms on the way. I mean, we've just seen so many absolute bums, and then it's like we have to keep bums on here. Like Tommy Hearn, we kept them as long as we did because we had no alternatives. We had nobody coming up. They can't turn anybody into a quality pitcher. Not a single guy. Not one. I mean, they went this offseason, they got all these different arms, and you know what? Some of these guys got hurt, but still, none of them stuck. None of them. They all have, I mean, Brigham, he has stuff, but he continues to blow game after game after game with the long ball, and that's something that you can't, like we see with Drew Smith, you can't fix that. If you got a home run problem, it's not going to work out as a high-leverage reliever. So it's just that we've seen just so many things go wrong. How can I keep Hefner and give him any credit? I need to bring in someone that can at least make somebody improve, find something in a young arm. And again, just bring in more young arms to organization, develop them well from the beginning in the minors. This way, Jeremy Hefner can't mess it up or he's not already given a bad pitcher. Like, you give him a good guy who he could just keep where he's at. That's all we need. But the fact that they can't even do that, it's just bad on every level of the organization as far as when it comes to pitching and the way that they develop it is just done so poorly that everyone needs to go, not just Hefner, but all of them.
Simply put it, fire him. I really have had enough. I mean, I would say that Tyler McGill is probably the final straw there because he was the only guy who looked like a somewhat of a young ace that we could bring in. And even though I know there's some that don't agree that he could possibly be an ace, he looked like an ace at the beginning of the year. He looked fan-frickin-tastic. Overall, they just completely messed it up completely, and they talked about how he was making mechanical adjustment. No, he didn't. He absolutely did not. It's just the Cardinals suck. That's literally it. Fastball still dropping 17 to 18 inches. I mean, come on. They were so worried about a 27-year-old staying healthy. Great. Fantastic. Every single explosive arm, every single great arm that we have, he's either ruined or they've gotten hurt. Bryce Montes de Oca, we all know that it was walking a tightrope. We knew that he had a violent delivery or whatever. Jeremy Hefner didn't do anything about that. He didn't do anything. He didn't make any adjustment to possibly keep this guy healthy whatsoever. And I know damn well Steven Ridings, he's about to come back up here. Fastball at 95 now. I understand that he was hurt, but some guys, when they get Tommy John surgery or whatever, they don't lose velo completely.
Sometimes they throw even harder.
Some of them throw even harder. And this guy, Ridings, he's not old. He's young, 28, 29. At this point, you look back on it, one guy who was absolutely nothing came in here. The Mets made him better. Is there one? No, there isn't one. There is not one, right? Edwin Diaz, okay, fixed Edwin Diaz upward tilt and a slider. He was one of the best relievers in baseball before he came in here. Adam Ottavino fixed his slider. Great slider. He's not hanging as many sliders. He's doing it now. He was one of the best relievers in baseball before he came here, earlier in his career. David Robertson, he's done such a fantastic... He's had a great career. Carlos Carrasco looked good last year for a majority of the season. He's had a good career.
It's like giving Epler credit for, re-signing Trout. Wow, oh my gosh, no one would have thought that.
Let me raise you another one. I would not be surprised if he's one of the reasons why Jacob deGrom got hurt so much.
Or maybe why deGrom didn't want to come back.
I don't know. Maybe he is the reason why deGrom didn't want to come back. I don't know. Because I remember Jacob deGrom being a fairly healthy pitcher before Jeremy Hefner came here. 2019? He wasn't here for 2019. 2020, 2021, 2022,
2017, 2016. He was injured before, after maybe.
Still giving you a full season sample at this point. What can you say? I understand he's being dealt a bad hand. You have a lot of shit pitchers here that are they're not fixable. They're too out. They're too, they're not good. They're just not good. But there's no one he's made better. So what the fuck is the point? I think that he's the first head that's got to roll. I don't think there's going to be much of a difference when he leaves, because of just the old talent that's here or lack thereof. And it's become a massive problem as the pitching staff that they've brought in has gotten older. Anybody that he's possibly helped, you can give credit to, they've been good before somewhere else. Any other pitcher that they've moved away from Jeremy Hefner, they're fantastic. Let's not forget the amazing praise that Trevor May gave to Jeremy Hefner when he was in Minnesota. Yeah, he looked fantastic with us. And I would not be surprised. They let him go. Nobody else brings him in.